matter the weather, Alexandria Emergency Hospital is always here for you. Rain or shine, our doors are open 24/7 to provide the care you and your loved ones need fast. Every second counts, and Alexandria Emergency Hospital is here to help you through any storm.
In the event of a water damage emergency, call PuroClean of Cenla.
No pressure, Jonathan, right? Great. Always great to have a National Weather Service meteorologist watching it and waiting for my analysis. But hey, I'm going to do my best. We're starting off with some storms down to the southwest right now. You can see those firing up. I'll take you in closer in a second. Tornado watch from Waco down to the northwestern suburbs of Houston. Looks like they've included Houston in that, and a severe thunderstorm watch west of that. This big complex of storms is going to really gather some steam and head this way. It's going to join up with what we have going on here, and it's going to rain a lot today. And we're going to have that threat for severe weather, which has continued to increase as we've gotten these morning runs in. I wanted to get these in and take a look at what was going on. You can see storms are popping up, and I say storms, let's make sure there's lightning, and yes, there is. Some pretty intense little cores down here, coming up right up that 165 track. Looks like they'll be just a little bit east of there for the most part, but we'll see a little farm of storms pop up here. Those are going to come on through, and then everything comes out of Texas, and it all goes downhill quickly. Let's go ahead and go back into the show. Let's go to flood alerts. I don't even know why I'm showing you this, because I could just say flood watch for the entire state and then some. This stretches way up into Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and over into Mississippi. So a lot of rain going to fall, and it looks like this is going to stretch out over a few days for parts of the area, though I am encouraged a bit more about the northern half maybe missing out on the multi-day threat of this very heavy rainfall. So 65 up in Natchitoches right now, 70 in Alexandria, 77 down in Houma. The dew point's going to tell the story here. You can see that warm front is just now probably about to cross I-10, moving northward. We have lower dew points, drier air up to the north, and we actually saw some virga and some really interesting skies yesterday. Now, virga, that's rain falling that evaporates, or precipitation falling that evaporates before it reaches the ground. So it had some pretty cool looking skies out there. We had the asperitas clouds as well, so really nice sky watching, and we had a big fire burning out west of town, so I time-lapsed it all. I don't know if it's worth posting, but it was cool for me to look at. So dew points, they're going to surge up into the 70s today, and that is going to help fuel the storms. Now, look at this wind, pretty much due east, and that's not typically what we see as a big storm is approaching, but watch what happens today. These are going to bend around to the southeast, and why that's a problem, as you can see, we have something going on here with big wind gusts up around Natchitoches. This is because the model is resolving some thunderstorms coming into the area. As these push into the area, as these feed into this southeasterly flow here, we go into a southwesterly flow not too far aloft from that. So a lot of low-level turning in the winds here, and that's why we are up to now a level 3 of 5, enhanced risk for severe weather in parts of the area. It's going to be some gusty winds out ahead of this as well. So I'll put it in motion the rest of the way. You can see those storms are going to move through, but that front kind of hangs up here in the southern parts of the area. Wind kind of turns chaotic, and I'll show you what that means for us in a second. Some scattered storms, chance of rain and storms through about 1 p.m., then things pick up. I think the worst of this comes through probably around 4 o'clock until about midnight, and we're going to see several hours of heavy rainfall and the potential for severe weather. Now, the enhanced risk, this is what we have been, I was talking about this yesterday. I was kind of saying I think they're going to probably expand and extend this outward and increase the risk level, and it has happened, and as the models really have come into agreement that this is going to hold together overhead. So slight risk for most of the area, and that enhanced level 3 from Alexandria back through Leesville and down to Lake Charles. I'll break down what this means for you. First off, the lowest end threat for us is going to be hail. I think storms are going to start to form into more of a line, or just a I don't want to say mesoscale convective complex, but I'm going to do it. We're just going to have this big complex of storms that's going to move across the area. And as that happens, I think our main threat, whoops, I hit F8 instead of F9. I hope I didn't screw anything up. I didn't. All right. So that's why we're going to see a big wind threat. So 30% risk for damaging wind in excess of 58 miles per hour within 25 miles of a point in that enhanced risk, surrounded by that 15% risk. And then, of course, our chance for tornadoes. I know this is the one that gets all the headlines here, but 5% chance across most of the area, 10% out here in the Toledo Bend Lake Country area toward Leesville down through Beauregard Parish. These lines are not hard, fast, set rules or anything. In fact, some of these models are really holding together the strongest storms in that 6 to 8 o'clock time frame as they come right across Alexandria. So something to watch there. The strong tornado risk, it's going to be most likely out in our western parishes, but I do think there is that threat for at least a strong tornado or two out of this system for today. So that doesn't mean it's going to happen at your house, but it means you need to be ready. And once we get the tornado watch, start to prepare. Once you get the tornado warning, be ready to seek shelter, or if you're in a mobile home, maybe move to a place of more significant shelter, not as the warning is issued, but a couple hours before the storms get here, so you're there safely. Now, thunderstorms in the forecast, you know that. There comes wave number one. That's going to be kind of tied to that warm front that's moving through. We'll get some scattered activity here, heavy rainfall possible. I think the severe threat's pretty low on this initial wave, but we'll keep an eye on things. And then there you go. I mean, that's about as impressive as things look here. Now, our main hope to keep severe weather at bay is if we get a ton of thunderstorms, hopefully we get some atmospheric disruption here. Hopefully that takes that southeasterly flow and we're not able to fully tap into it. I think we're going to see some severe weather and possibly some significant stuff today. And that flooding threat, I don't want to leave that out. Go through a few more hours. Now, notice that here. And you know what? I wanted to hit that harder. So let me go back here. Forgot that was my little time frame. I wanted to, let's go back to 6 p.m. All right. So 6 p.m., notice we are in the storms here in Alexandria. Let's go ahead 4 hours. Faraday, Leesville. See what happens here. It just kind of trains over the same area. So that's when our flood threat takes over. And that's when I think that severe threat starts to scoot off to the east, though we will keep at least some severe threat in our southern parishes. And as you get along I-10 by tomorrow morning, it's going to be bumping. So any plans to head down south could be ruined by floodwaters. So you're going to want to watch ahead for this stuff, plan ahead, look ahead, see what you have. If you're like putting something in your GPS and it says, hey, roads are closed and all that stuff, probably best to just stay home. But the good news is I think that heavier stuff stays in our very southern tier of parishes. It's not good for them, I know that, but for most of the area, it looks like Wednesday, we're going to see some lighter rainfall up here, and perhaps that heavier stuff gets shunted down to the south. Talked about this potential yesterday, and I'm really hopeful that that's going to at least save about 3/4 of the area from getting a double dip here on this very heavy rainfall. And then into Thursday, we kind of transition back to more scattered activity. But for today, big severe weather threat, big flash flood risk here, moderate risk for severe weather across the entire area and most of the state. And for tomorrow, again, that's kind of centered up on the southern part of the area. So slight risk for excessive rainfall, additional excessive rainfall, and a marginal risk up here across the rest of the state, where I think we'll be more into the light stuff by then. So 3 to 6 inches of rain, that's going to be widespread. That's pretty much for everyone in the state. Now, there are going to be some isolated totals up over 10 inches of rain out of this, and I think the best chance for that is going to be down in our southern third of our parishes here. So Beauregard, Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry, and you know, that's the best chance. That doesn't mean we're not going to see there are some of these high-res models that put down 6 to 8 inches of rain in short order right across the middle of the area. So we're going to be watching it all, and we're going to be watching all these threats as they materialize. I went with the flash flood threat. I didn't want to get too wordy. You know about the severe threat, but it's going to rain an absolute ton out of this one, and then that rain starts to kind of back off. Tomorrow, 80%. We're going to see rain for most of the area, but it's not going to be as heavy until you get way down south, right in the southern edge of those parishes. And then more scattered storms Thursday and Friday. Rain chances dwindle through the weekend, and by Monday, things are looking good. Now, look at this. May 14th to May 20th. I know it's all like, you know, doesn't it just rain anymore? Why is everything so crazy and all that? Well, I mean, today is going to be a significant one. This is probably going to be a top 5 event out of the year. It's not something we've never seen before, but getting a lot of rain like this is a relative rarity. But after we get through this, May 14th to May 20th look pretty darn good here. Near to above normal temps, so mid-80s, maybe some upper 80s, and it's going to be dry, so we are going to get to dry out after this extended period of rainfall. And when I say extended, I want you to know that today is the big day. Today and tonight. After this, things are going to transition to more scattered activity. Tomorrow, it's still going to be real heavy down south, but Thursday, Friday, we'll see storms, but it's not going to be this all-day craziness or anything like that. So, let me make sure there are no crazy comments. Good. Good. Everybody's being nice. I like it. Tornado watch Baton Rouge later on? Possibly, yeah. I think that would be within the realm of possibility. I do think the worst of this is going to be just to your northwest, but you're going to then get in on that flooding threat, and it's going to be a little later on, so into the evening and things like that. So we're going to see a lot of rainfall statewide, everyone under that flood watch, and then there is at least some threat for severe weather across the entire state as well, with the worst of that right here in central Louisiana, the way it's looking right now. Okay, still a lot of rain tomorrow of oils? No, you're probably going to be on that northern edge of things. You'll get some rain the first half of the day, and then I think things are going to, they're going to kind of calm down a bit. I'm going to get out of here for now. I have a feeling I'm going to see y'all a lot later today. So we'll be live for severe weather updates. I will be. I'm here for the day, so I'm certainly going to be going live for that and hoping tomorrow I can go out to College Station and pick up Lily if it calms down enough. So we will see on that. But I will see y'all back here later today. Have a safe day. Have the plan in place and just be careful. Common sense. You know how it goes. Heed the warnings. And if you see floodwaters ahead, just go ahead and turn around. Not a good idea to test that out. I will see you later.